Well, just days after a police-involved shooting in Baltimore County, investigators say the suspect has now died.
This after he allegedly came at officers with a machete. Rick Ritter joins us now live here in the studio with more. Rick?
Well, Vic, Denise, the suspect has now been identified as 24-year-old Emmanuel Oates, and police say they gave him several chances to drop that machete, but Oates left them with no choice but to fire. The dramatic scene played out Tuesday afternoon. Baltimore County officers forced to open fire inside a grocery store, killing a 24-year-old suspect.
I overheard the cops, a cop or cops, I don't know if there's more than one, saying, "Put the weapon down, put the weapon down."
An officer initially responded to the shopping center along Liberty Road for an accident. They say a Dollar Tree employee waved the officer down, pointing at Oates in the parking lot, saying he stole from the store.
Our officers saw the suspect walking across the parking lot, had a bag with some items inside a small grocery bag.
When the officer approached Oates, it turned into a confrontation. Backup then arrived, and police say he tried to flee before being taken to the ground.
When they both went to the ground, at that point the suspect pulled out a machete from a sheath from underneath his clothing and actually swung the machete, striking the officer in the leg.
Investigators say officers tried to get Oates to drop that machete, but instead he fled into the Aldi store. Officers followed Oates inside and say he continued to brandish the weapon, leaving them with no choice but to fire.
The officers were trying to retreat till they couldn't retreat anymore. We are authorized to use lethal weapons when we are in fear of either our own safety, our own life.
After fighting for his life, Oates has now died. While the public has certainly raised some questions about the shooting, police say the officers did exactly what they were trained to do.
We're not trained to shoot at a certain part, shoot an arm or shoot a leg. We are trained to shoot to eliminate the threat.
I knew tonight those officers were identified as Officer Sands and Officer First Class Wah. They do remain on paid administrative leave. Vic, Denise, the department will investigate the shooting and then hand its findings over to the state's attorney's office, which will decide whether or not to issue charges.